I wasn't one of the ones to get that silver spoon, or like I know I've read stories where people were able to get out of $200,000 to $300,000 worth of debt in 6 months to a year. Well, I wasn't given a condo or given a big amount of money from my family to help me get out. So I'm like, I'm keeping it real. Like I'm in the trenches right now, making it happen. Yeah. So I tell people everything, the good and the bad, because people want to hear realistic stories.
This is the Personal Finance Show.
Hi, I'm Bo Humphreys, and this is the Personal Finance Show. Jason Butler wants you to know that you can still have fun and live your life while you're in debt. Jason graduated from Savannah State University in 2008 with around $25,000 in debt. But due to a variety of factors, most of which we discuss in the interview, his debt increased to over $72,000 by 2015. His most recent debt report from the end of December 2018 has his total debt down to just over $66,000. In 2013, Jason started the Butler Journal and started blogging about his debt repayment and side hustles to help him become more accountable with his finances. He decided he wouldn't let this huge debt control his life. He would try his best to pay it down over time, but since he knew that it would take a while, he made a point to try to enjoy his life as well. In 2019, the Butler Journal rebranded as My Money Chronicles, and Jason is working on some great things for 2019 at mymoneychronicles.com. Jason has had a few setbacks over the years, but what I admire about him is that he keeps trying different side hustles, writing about them, and helping others find ways to pay down their debts and make extra money with their own side hustles. Jason isn't alone with his large student debt. There are more than 44 million borrowers who collectively owe $1.5 trillion in student loan debt in the U.S. Jason joined me from Atlanta, Georgia, to tell his personal finance story.
One of the earliest memories with money that I can remember is my mom setting up credit union accounts for me and my siblings.
Okay.
I probably was in middle school when this happened, but my mother set up a savings account for us at the time, and it was with one of the local credit unions. And I just remember just depositing money into it, and then not touching it for like a few years. And then when I got old enough to actually understand and know how to use money, I was able to use that as my main account. I added a checking account with that savings account, and I'm currently still a member of that credit union. 15, almost probably 20 years later, almost.
Wow, that's loyalty for sure. I guess. Did they pay good interest or something?
At the time, I can't even lie. I'm not sure what the interest was back then, but right now it's decent. I don't know the exact figure, but I'm getting a little bit back in the savings account. I don't have enough money in the checking account because I'm literally constantly spending because I use that for bills.
Where would you get money? What's middle school? What age is that for you?
Middle school is ages 6th, 7th, and 8th grade here.
Okay, so early teens or just end of the preteens?
Yeah. Early, pretty much between 12, 13, 14, and maybe 15 years old.
And you were making money around this time doing something?
Yeah. I started, it's crazy. I started one of my earliest side hustles. I think I was in 7th grade. Okay. I made calendars, printed them out, did some kind of little design, and I sold 4 or 5 of them.
Okay.
Yeah, that pretty much got my side hustle started right there. And I was able to, instead of keeping that money and spending it, I think I vaguely remember depositing some of that money in the account because it wasn't that much. But as a kid, I wanted to feel semi-important, feel semi-smart. So I wanted to put some of that money away, at least a little bit of it.
Well, who's buying calendars from an 11 or 12-year-old?
Actually, teachers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, my teachers bought it. And I actually think that maybe 1 or 2 of my classmates bought it. And that was kind of crazy. Like my sister and my brother, neither of them made any sales, but at least I was.
So that's an early hustle. Now, if you don't mind me asking, what did your mom do? She seems like she was pretty had a good head on her shoulders to set up an account for you.
She worked in education, working in elementary school, pretty much as a secretary. So she's been around students and school stuff all her like most of my life, actually.
Yeah, so she's doing that, and she just had this idea that we're going to get you started. Was she a saver herself? Do you know that?
Yep. She was pretty decent saver. Always had accounts saved. Always had at least a little small emergency fund. So I guess she wanted to make sure that me and my siblings did the same thing.
Nice. That's a really great example. So, okay, a little bit of money from calendars, but do you remember the first time you started making real money, like a first job or something that made you like real money?
I remember I had a summer job the summer after ninth grade year. Here in Atlanta, there was a summer program called PIC. The city used to hire teenagers, and they would put them at different jobs around the city. My first job was right after ninth grade. I worked at City Hall, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a nice little job. At the time, minimum wage was $5.15, so it wasn't real money.
Wow.
But as a 15-year-old, I was happy to be making some kind of money, and to see a check and actually to deposit it was pretty good to me.
Do you remember, is that when you got your checking account, or was it before that?
It was maybe a couple of years before that, because this was after ninth grade, and I think I got a checking account either in sixth or seventh grade.
Were you getting like checks from family, like gifts or something, or
like a little allowance here and there? And you may, like you said, may get some money on Christmas.
Yeah.
And maybe I would deposit that a little bit of that amount, but like that savings was nowhere near like $1,000 at all during that time.
So what were you doing exactly at City Hall?
At City Hall, I actually pretty much was a secretary. I would answer the phone, accept packages when the delivery man brought them.
Yeah.
Just stuff like that, like little clerical work. That was an easy job for the summer.
You learn how an office works.
Exactly.
That's a good, I mean, if you plan to be in an office, which maybe a lot of people might think that they're going to be in one when they're in high school, it's a good first experience.
Yeah, definitely.
So you made a little bit of money, five something an hour. That's before taxes, right?
Yep, before taxes. Yeah, definitely.
You gotta pay the tax, man. Do you remember what you did with that? Are you putting it right in the savings, or
Nope.
Are you a spender? You're a spender at this point?
I actually was buying gear, like buying clothes.
Yeah.
Like I'm a fan of Michael Jordan.
Sure.
Michael Jordan has like some nice shoes out. So I used to buy like, use some of my money to buy some Jordans, some like other Nikes back in the day. I would have jerseys and stuff like that. Because back then, this was 1999.
99.
So even though things were expensive, like for example, the tennis shoes now cost like $190 to $200.
Sure.
Back then, you could still find the Jordan shoes for like $100, $120. And some of the other Nikes that I used to wear, I could get those for like $70. So I wasn't spending too much money on that stuff, but I did splurge a little bit.
Yeah, well, you don't have a lot of expenses when you're a teenager, right?
Nope, not at all.
You know, at least you're not like able to go into debt or anything, right? If you want something. What was your mom's policy about like buying you anything like that?
She wouldn't buy that type of stuff. If I wanted it, like I'm the oldest child, so
okay,
it's like parents are usually the toughest on their oldest child. She ain't buying any of that stuff. If I wanted those $100 tennis shoes, I have to be the person to buy it. So I bought it.
Okay, so you're able to at least get what you wanted and work for it. So that's good early lesson. And
yeah.
Well, how many siblings do you have?
Let's see. I have a younger sister and a younger brother.
Okay, so they got a little more spoiled. Is that what you're implying?
Definitely, especially my brother. But that's a different story for a different podcast.
Sure. So you're having to work to get to the things that you really want, but of course your mom took care of the rest in terms of making you comfortable at home and making sure you're housed and fed and all the basics, right?
Definitely. Yeah, she took care of a lot. Made sure that we always had like you said, a roof over our heads and always had food to eat.
And whatever basic clothes that you might need.
Yeah, definitely.
No, there weren't $100 Jordans.
No, not at all. Far from it.
So was that a big motivation then for you to keep trying to figure out how to make money to be able to buy the things that you wanted?
It definitely was a motivation because, to tell the truth, my mother and my dad got a divorce back in '93. I was 10 at the time.
Okay, early.
And
yeah.
One of the reasons they got the divorce was because he didn't want to work. So I guess deep down inside, I always wanted to have some kind of money and never be like a lazy type person that did not want to work.
You didn't want to follow in that example.
Not at all, because that's like, if you have a family, you should be trying to make money to take care of your family.
Absolutely.
Instead of just being lazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to make money, as you know today, and we'll get there. But so that was a good motivation. I mean, not necessarily a positive thing in your life, but you got a good motivation from it.
Yep. Like I literally pinpoint back on that moment and realize as I've gotten older, I look back and realize that literally every different stages of my life, I've always been side hustling and trying to make extra money. And I wondered why. And I was able to point it back to that time.
Yeah, you were able to actually do some introspection and think about why that is.
Correct.
That's good. That's some good work because otherwise you might be just wondering why, knowing the motivation behind your behavior is always, it's good to know.
Yep.
So what was the next one? What would you do next? Next summer?
Yep. The next job after that, I worked at this place actually called, I actually worked at this other area called City Hall East, which is crazy. It was a branch of City Hall, but City Hall was so small that they needed to branch away.
Yeah.
And City Hall East was cool. This job was less phone calls and more lifting and stuff like that, and boxes and moving around.
Okay, so you got the office and then you got the warehouse, sort of, or
sort of like a warehouse. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were doing a lot more, a little bit more physical labor, but not too much.
I feel like these jobs really help you understand what other people are going through in those positions, right? If you're ever coming across them.
They definitely do. Especially, I got a doozy for you coming up, but they definitely teach you respect and it helps you learn and actually appreciate things too.
So now, is it every summer then you're getting some kind of job?
The next summer, this was the summer after I graduated from high school.
Okay, so you're on your way.
It was through the same program, but this time they assigned me to work at a summer camp.
Oh,
super easy job, man. Those little kids were bad, but it was a fun job. It was real fun.
But you got younger siblings, so you can handle kids.
Yeah, I can handle little bad rugrats.
But again, you're managing all of these kids in one way or another, like organizing programs too, or.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. Just for example, we take them to the pool and to the skating ring from time to time.
Yeah.
We would play dodgeball. I would be in charge of that. Play basketball, throw the football around. So just easy stuff. And since I like sports, that was the sports part was real easy for me.
Yeah, the summer camp sounds like if you like camp or you like doing activities, it's a great job.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was.
And so you're still spending all your money at this point, or has anything changed?
At this point, I was about to get ready to go to college,
okay.
So I started saving some of it.
Nice.
Yeah, I definitely started saving a little bit more of it because I didn't want to go to college and be broke. Yeah, so I was able to save a decent amount at that time.
So you're ready to go to college. How is college to be paid for?
In Georgia, there's a scholarship program called the Hope Scholarship.
Okay.
At the time, Hope paid for almost all of the tuition. So I had Hope at the time. This was back in 2002. I literally only had to take out $600 for student loans.
Okay.
So I did great. I did great that first year. Then I lost the Hope Scholarship, and that's why all the problems happened.
Okay. Can you talk a little more about how you get Hope and then how you lost it?
How Hope Scholarship works is that if you graduate high school with a GPA of 3.0 or higher, you qualify for the Hope Scholarship. And at that time, the Hope paid for, like I said, about 90 to 95% of your classes. If you graduate with a 3.7 or higher, they have something called the Zell Miller Scholarship, and that takes care of everything, 100% of the tuition and fees. That's how it was back then. Now it's just 100% of the tuition, so you still have to pay for fees in college. Yeah, it was great. Like, I enjoyed it. It was pretty much like a free $3,500 that I was getting for my first 3 semesters before I lost it.
Well, wait, and before we talk about that, can anyone qualify for the Hope Scholarship?
You have to be a Georgia resident.
Yeah.
You either have to graduate from a Georgia high school, be a Georgia resident, or if you transfer you have to wait 2 years and then you'll be a Georgia resident. So literally it's for Georgians.
Okay. And what kind of schools can you go to? Is a whole bunch of options?
Yeah, you can go to private and public schools. Now the thing is with the private schools, now you won't get as much. It doesn't cover as much now as it did back then with the private schools, but it pretty much covers the same amount for the public schools that it did back then that it does now, or at least close to that amount.
Okay, so what school did you go to, and what did you start in?
I went to the great Savannah State University in Savannah, Georgia.
Nice.
It's located 3.5 hours from Atlanta, Georgia. It was like a great school for me to go to. I enjoyed my time there, and it was not one of the most expensive schools in the state, so I was happy. Like I went there to help save money as well.
I just stopped in Savannah on the way down to Orlando in September.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you got a chance to see that Savannah was a nice city then.
Yeah, just a little bit. It looked really great. I had those little cookies that they make. You know what I'm talking about?
Did you get them from River Street?
Yeah, I think so. Like they only make them in Savannah.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't remember the name of them, but I definitely know.
They're like the little addictive cookies, and now I can't ever find them again. That's why, that's the only downside of traveling is if you ever like something that's like in another country or far, far away, you lose access to it.
Exactly. Yeah, you may be able to find them online though.
Maybe I will try.
Yeah, but I would check out Savannah Candy Kitchen. I think they have a website and they may ship those cookies to you.
Nice. See, this is why I do podcasts, to find out about how to get cookies from places I might never go to again. Yeah. So, you're in Savannah. And what program?
I got my degree in marketing. So I was in a business administration program.
Nice. Okay. So then second year, you didn't get Hope. And why did that happen?
I had a little too much fun my first year.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, that tends to happen sometime when people go away to college.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I literally that first semester I was enjoying myself a little too much. Didn't apply myself that good. But by the second semester I did great. Once I crossed that 30 credit hour limit, because with the Hope Scholarship they check you at every 30, 60, and 90 credit hour. Okay. When I crossed that 30 credit hour limit, my GPA was under 3.0, so I ended up losing Hope.
I see. Did you have to get student loans then?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I had the Pell Grant, but I had to get some student loans. I used the federal loans, and I got a little bit of private loans at the time.
When you finished your degree, I guess it was 4 years?
Yep, it was a 4-year degree.
Well, how much did you have in student loans?
At that time, it might have been about somewhere between 22 or 24,000.
Okay, and that's
which was, I think so. I think around that time. I don't think it was, because it wasn't too bad at the point. It might have been closer to 20,000 actually.
And that sounds pretty typical if it's not like going to an Ivy League school where it's like, what, $50,000 a year or something. That just always seems insane to me.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. And that's part of the reason why I'm never going to grad school, because I don't need to get in any more debt.
Do you know anybody who's been through the Ivy League process and is in like $200,000 in debt?
Not the Ivy League process, but I know people that went to SCAD, Savannah College in Art Design, which is a private school in Savannah, Georgia, that has campuses in Atlanta and overseas. I know some people that's over 100,000.
Oh, wow.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, it's really crazy.
Yeah, and do you feel at all like your education was somehow less?
No, I don't. I don't feel like it was less at all.
Right?
I believe. Yeah, I don't. I kind of wish that I would have applied myself a little bit more, because I'm a smart person, but I let some circumstances control me a little bit. But everybody has hindsight when they're in their 30s about what they could have did when they were in their 20s.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, we going to school is social as much as it is about education, right? I mean, you're learning about life, you're learning about yourself, and you learn your limits and what it is you can handle. And
exactly. And then not to mention the fact if you like join any like clubs or fraternities or sororities, anything, because I was in a fraternity.
Yeah.
So I was doing a lot of partying and stuff too. So I did a lot.
But you probably got some good connections too in the fraternity.
Yeah,
right?
Got some great connections, some good memories.
Yeah.
And also made some mistakes too, but you live and you learn.
Well, but you got the degree, right?
Heck yeah, I got the degree.
So
May 10th, 2008.
Okay, so 2008, you get your degree. You didn't have to. You got a degree that is, as you said, no less in terms of education quality than an Ivy League school or even the Academy of Design, any private schools. Yep. And you only come out with under 25 grand in debt, which sounds like something that you might be able to manage. It's not like a life-ruining amount of debt.
Any other time in history, that would have been the answer. Okay. That would have been correct.
But not
in 2008.
Oh, in 2000, I don't know why I didn't put that together. Oh, yeah, wow. Okay.
Yeah, not in 2008 because our economy crashed.
Yeah.
Bad.
It did.
It tanked. Like it tanked down here. It took me a year and a half to find a full-time job.
Oh.
Doing that year and a half, I was still working a part-time job that I had when I was in college. I was getting used to like living off a college campus. Before then, I didn't pay rent. I didn't pay light bill. I didn't pay cable. I didn't pay any of that stuff because it was taken care of with my tuition and fees.
Yeah.
Well, it took a while to get used to and to budget all that stuff. When I was working that part-time job after college, I had to make some decisions. Either pay my credit cards and my loans and stuff on time or pay my rent and my cell phone bill because you need a place to stay. And you need that phone to be on so you can get the phone interviews for the companies.
Absolutely.
So I made that decision to pay that stuff. That's when the interest started hitting my student loans and some of my other like debts. And let's just say the highest that my student loans were at one point was probably like it probably jumped close to about 63,000.
Oh, wow. Are you telling me that that's all in interest, or you just were able to add more on?
Added about 30,000 in interest.
Oh, that's terrible.
Maybe 25 because like a dummy, at one point I decided to go back to school to try to get another degree. That added another 12,000. So I will say that, it probably in like 8 to 9 years, it was about $25,000 to $30,000 worth of interest and late fees.
Can you break down so you said the late fees. So how exactly, like, you don't have to pay, it just keeps building the interest?
I definitely had to pay, but for a while I wasn't paying my student loans. I just kept getting them deferred because I didn't make enough money.
So you can do that, you can get them deferred.
Yep, doing deferred and a forbearance. And the thing that sucks is that during those times the loans are still collecting interest.
Yeah.
They're still being charged interest for like 3 or 4 years. Just kept filling out the paperwork, and so I wouldn't have to pay.
What's the criteria for deferral and as you said, forbearance?
Making less than $35,000.
Okay.
I know that was for one of them. I think I was able to only do I did the deferment when I was in school. The forbearance was because of the income. Like at the time, I was making under 35,000, so I was struggling. Like definitely struggling.
Yeah.
I was making probably, let's see, I'll fast forward a few years. I was making about like 30 to 31,000 before I got the job that I'm at now. So those loans was literally deferred to like 2015.
Oh man.
I kept deferring them because I didn't have the money to pay for them.
And so they have this system where you can, fill up paperwork to not make any payments because of low income, but they don't do anything to help you with the accumulating interest.
Correct, because they don't care. Like they don't care. That's how they get more money.
Wow. That sounds like a really crappy system.
It is. It's a horrible system. I'm not sure student loan debt has hit $1 trillion yet, but I think it's getting close. Like I can't remember what the numbers were the last time I was looking, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah, with a system like that, where interest can just accumulate forever, Oh, I can't believe. So you basically more than doubled by the time you got around to start
Yes.
paying down the principal?
Correct.
Whew. Wow. Okay, so you're getting by, you're trying to live your life. Are you trying side hustles? What are you trying in this time before you get the job that you're in now, say?
Yeah, I actually did started a little bit, started the website in 2013.
Okay, yeah.
Started doing some side hustles a little bit. Like I've been doing eBay on and off for like 9 years.
Okay.
So I started a little bit in 2013 with eBay. In 2015, I got a little bit more serious with it. Did some freelance writing in late 2015, early 2016. Yeah, in college I sold like mixtapes. I sold T-shirts on and off like since 2009 on and off. So I've been doing like a lot of different side hustles to help generate more income.
So you got the motivation from your early life, as you talked about earlier. Now you got this extra motivation of the debt, and those things combined are you're trying to hustle all the time.
Yes, definitely. And by trying to hustle all the time, I've made some failures, like made some mistakes, but I've also learned a lot of things too.
Sure. And you're writing about a lot of this stuff on the Butler Journal, right?
On the Butler Journal? Yep, I am. I definitely am. Like I said earlier, with the Butler Journal, I got serious about it in 2015. And I basically like get into a lot of detail. I talk about different side hustles. I talk about the different debt. And I do a monthly update with my debt. I let people know if eBay worked this month, what I sold, what I didn't sell, what other side hustles I got going on. And just try to keep people motivated and let them know that they can still have fun while they're in a ton of debt as well.
Yeah, I mean, so is your debt? Maybe we might be jumping ahead. Is it going down?
It is going down. Literally, when I started paying off the debt in 2015. My numbers were at 72,000.
Oh.
This was student loans, like a couple random bills and credit card debt.
Sure.
I got to 58,000 this year.
Nice. That's really great.
And then my car went out on me.
Oh.
Yeah, so I had to get another added another $8,000 to that debt.
Oh,
and I got
man.
back up to 67,000. And I'm currently at 66 now.
But you're chipping away.
I'm working, but I know a lot more now in 2018 than I did in 2015. So I know that it will go down a lot quicker this time.
Yeah, you're still working on it. But and that's good, right? I mean, you're trying all the different things, and that's all that really matters. But then you end up getting you have a full-time job now.
Yep. I got a full-time job working as a financial aid counselor at one of the local universities down here.
What a great job for you.
Yeah, it's cool. It's pretty cool. I've been there since 2015. I got a raise and became a senior counselor in July of 2017. And to be honest, I've realized a lot of things. Like after my previous birthday, I just turned 35 last month, and I realized a lot of things. And when it comes to like paying off debt and just trying to get extra money, sometimes you can get stuck in your comfort zone, and you can only like cut expenses so much. So at the end of the day, you got to look for more money. And for a while, I was just trying to do different side hustles on the side, and I was content with the job. But I'm literally in the process of looking for a new job, a new higher paying job too, because at the end of the day, the more money I make, the quicker this debt will be able to be paid off.
That's right. And you have all these skills that you've built up over the years, right? And that's
correct.
That's when you can sort of figure out what it is that you're good at. But I mean, I was just thinking that financial aid sounds like a really great place for you to help others not get into your situation. It's
pretty good, but it's you know when you've been somewhere for so long, that you need another challenge and also more money. So that's why I'm actually in the process of looking for other opportunities right now.
Yeah, and hopefully that's okay to say on this podcast.
I hope so. I hope nobody hears me from the school that I work at.
No, just
that's why I didn't say what. That's why I didn't say what college.
That's right. Okay, good call.
And I've already did some searches. My name is not on the school website anywhere. Like I've looked. So
Okay, great.
yeah, none of the counselors in our office is, because unfortunately we do have a high turnover rate. So they won't put anybody from our office name on the site.
Yeah, well, that's good. I just didn't want you to say something that might be called out later.
I'm not really worried about that.
Okay, good. I'm glad you're not. You have a degree in marketing. What would it be that you would want to do? You have something in mind?
It's crazy. I would actually like to work either still in a school, but actually work in athletics because I love sports.
Yeah.
Do something on the marketing team with like the athletics, like do some kind of promotion with teams. Or I'm realizing now that I like social media too, so I could be like a social media coordinator or something like that.
Well, I mean, you're pretty good at doing the website stuff and that so far, right?
Yeah.
You have a practice on your
own.
own.
I'm pretty good with the website stuff, but I have to learn a lot more about websites, like that, more about the HTML, because I know the basics where I can get my sites going, but as far as other people's sites, yeah, I don't trust my skills enough to get that going yet.
Yeah, there are some more advanced things that you can do, but then you can decide to invest in yourself. So you're chipping away. So there's no investments or anything at this point, right? Everything goes towards the student loans.
There's a couple. I actually do have some small investments. I have an account with Stockpile.
Okay.
And I have some money in Robinhood as well. So I have a little bit of investments.
The debt's going to be there for a while, so might as well try a couple other things, right?
Yeah. I want to say that I have a couple, like literally a couple $100 tied into those stocks, but it's not much. But at the end of the day, like last year, like, cause at one point I had paid off all my credit card debt. So I told myself I wanted to get into some stocks. So I put a little bit of money into that.
Yeah. Well, that's great that you got rid of the credit card debt.
But I made some mistakes and now I have debt again.
So are you saying that the car thing was a mistake?
The car wasn't a mistake, but getting back in credit card debt was like a mistake. Like I didn't need to do what I did, but I made some mistakes and got back into that debt. I should have paid cash I should have used my debit card for like one trip for one flight that I booked, but I didn't. I ended up using my credit card. And what else? And something else happened. I think I just said forget it and splurged on some concert tickets.
Well, it's good that you're sort of owning up to all of this stuff, right? As you're doing it, you're recognizing it, right?
Yeah.
Do you write all this stuff in your on your blog? Like you're doing the full disclosure, or?
Yeah. I pretty much tell everything. I definitely like go into details. Pretty much. Well, I go into detail about majority of the stuff. Like if you look on my updates now, you'll see that I'm in credit card debt. I don't really tell people. I didn't tell people how I got back into it all of the way, but I just said, "Dang, I made a mistake. Yeah, I made a couple of mistakes here and there, and now I have this amount of debt." Because part of the reason I'm back in the credit card debt is because I started doing travel hacking. Southwest Airlines had a promotion going on where if you spent $2,000, you would get 50,000 airline miles. So I ended up paying off a loan with part of that. I ended up using a credit card to pay off a loan that I had ironically at the school that I was thinking about going back to at the time.
Yeah.
So I used that credit card to get that. But on the flip side, those 50,000 points has helped me get a few flights for basically free.
Okay.
So I think it was a good move because at the end of the day, by April or March, the credit card debt will be eliminated.
Yeah, and then you were able to, like you said, enjoy your life by going on a flight or two, while still and not letting this debt paralyze you.
Definitely.
Do you hear from other people in the same situation as you?
Yeah, I do. I hear from a lot of people from time to time. A lot of people, they don't have as much hope as I have when it comes to paying off the debt.
Yeah.
A lot of them are like nervous. They're looking for side hustles. So I just try to help people the way that I can, and I want them to know that we can all get out of debt together.
Yeah. So how, like, if someone is, but whether they're in the debt situation or not, or they're just looking to make a little bit extra money on the side, maybe to go on a trip or whatever it is they can. They're paying for their basics. They're not in a tremendous amount of debt or anything, but they're really not going anywhere. Well, like, what would you recommend for them to do other than, of course, start reading the Butler Journal?
I definitely recommend that they start doing a side hustle.
How do you find your side hustle? How do you figure it out?
In my opinion, everybody can do a side hustle. People are just lazy though. Lazy as hell. If I can curse.
Yeah.
Lazy as hell. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to people and tried to give them game, tried to give them focus, and 3 weeks later they haven't did anything. But to answer the question about how to find the side hustle, there are hundreds of articles out there that talks about side hustles. Like I have an article called 40 plus ways to make extra money this month. You can click on that post and just read the different side hustle ideas out there. Try multiple side hustles. See what you like. It's like, for example, some people may like doing design work and graphic work. While for me, I hate doing that type of stuff because I'm not a good designer at all. Like I hate Photoshop. I can't get it to save my life.
Yeah.
But I like selling stuff. Like I've literally been selling stuff since I was a teenager. So you can try eBay. You can try OfferUp or Craigslist. There's like hundreds of side hustles out there. Definitely try it. And if you don't make money with one within a few weeks, go to the next one.
Can you break down the eBay? Like what are you doing specifically on eBay to make money?
Okay, basically with me, what I'm doing on eBay, I'm just selling other people's items. Like literally every Saturday and some Fridays, I go to thrift stores.
Sure.
I look for things such as shoes, coffee mugs, board games, bobbleheads, jerseys, stuff like that. If I find it for a decent price, I grab it and then I take pictures and I list it and post it online. Last month, I made over $500 selling eBay, doing it in my part-time. Easy money.
That's great.
Yeah, easy money. I'm in the process of trying to get to $1,000, which I know I will get to. It's either going to happen in hopefully December, but if not December, it'll happen sometime early next year because I have an eBay store. I currently have 170 items live right now.
Wow.
And I know that number is going to get higher than that because I'm looking for more items and I'm learning more about other stuff to sell too.
And you're learning every time you buy and sell something, or you buy something and it doesn't sell, you're learning more and more. And you've been doing this since you were a kid. Yep.
Literally been selling things since I was a kid, but I've been on eBay since 2009.
Yeah, that's a long time. It's a long time.
Yeah, so it's been a while, but I tell people that I got serious about eBay like late 2015, 2016, and last year is when it really took over. Like I started going to the thrift stores and doing stuff every week with it.
You probably got your 10,000 hours of experience. I think
I do. If I'm not at 10,000, I'm very close.
Yeah, and so it probably sort of just clued in. Like it just became clear what you have to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Definitely. Like literally 30 minutes before we got on the phone call, I took off from work today. 30 minutes before we got on Zoom, I took a box to the post office and shipped it.
Nice.
Like it was an item that I paid $7 for, and I sold it for $17, which was double than what I paid for.
Yeah, that's great.
It was a decent flip. Like I usually try to get 3 or 4 times more than what I paid for, but this item has been sitting in my store for a few months, so I just wanted to get it out of here.
Hey, if you get $1 more than what you paid for, like that, it's the time that you spent, I guess, that you're trying to pay for, right? But at least you're not selling it at a loss or anything like that. And I guess maybe you'll learn from that. Maybe you wouldn't buy that item, or that the demand isn't out there. Or maybe it's just random. Is it just random sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes it's just random. But majority of the time, every item that I purchase, I look inside the eBay app. I type the name in. Well, not every item. If it's a newer type item, I usually type the name in the eBay app, and then from there, I look at the previous solds. Like they have a list of the previously sold items, and if it's making a decent amount of money, like this one was, I'll buy it. So yeah, you can't beat it. Like some items, I know some items I know I can get a decent amount of money for, and I know they'll sell. Because like I said earlier, when it comes to sports, I know sporting stuff. Like the Jordan tennis shoes, the sports jerseys, the bobbleheads, I know that I'll eventually make money off those things. Now, sometimes item sits for a couple of months, But at the end of the day, who doesn't? If an item sits 3 or 4 months, but when you hear the eBay notification go off with the cha-ching, and you got $100 sale on some tennis shoes that you only paid $6 for, you can't beat that.
That's right. As long as you can afford to, float that, and it's not killing you, then you're
correct.
Sometimes it takes time to turn things around. Arbitrage is not always a quick game, right?
No, it's definitely not. But one thing that I also do, I have my items cross-posted. A lot of the items are listed in like 4 locations, such as not just eBay, but they're on Bonanza, they're on OfferUp, they're on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and Mercari.
So that's smart. And do you ever have conflicts? Is it tough to manage all that or no?
No, it's not for me, because the thing is, eBay and the Bonanza website, they're connected.
Okay.
So if something sells on eBay, it's gonna automatically be pulled out of it will automatically be pulled out of the live listing for Bonanza. The same with Bonanza. If something sells on Bonanza, it's gonna be removed from the active listing on eBay. The only thing I have to check is if I sell an item on eBay, I have to check Mercari to see if it's still live, because Mercari is similar to eBay where people can buy the items and pay for it, and then you ship the items.
Yeah.
All the other websites like OfferUp, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, those are sites where you have to meet up with the person.
So you think about what like you said, sports stuff, and maybe focus on that. Like if you don't, don't go buy plates that you hang on the wall if you don't know anything about those things, right? Or little porcelain dolls, or you got to know. Right. And everybody knows a little bit about something, whether it be a hobby or like I'm a musician, so I know about music, right? So there's a lot of different ways you can go with this. But what's another side hustle other than the arbitrage of items that might that works for you or that you might recommend?
Selling T-shirts online.
T-shirts, okay.
I love selling T-shirts online. Like, I'll tell you the backstory of why I started selling T-shirts.
Please.
In college, I used to work at Lady & Sons and the Paula Deen retail store. Paula Deen is the owner of the Lady & Sons, which is a southern soul food restaurant in Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah, Paula Deen, I've seen her on TV.
Yeah, it's world famous, man. She's a cool little old lady. I worked in her store and her restaurant for like 3 years total.
Okay.
Working in the store, she would sell all kind of crap. Books, mugs, like little mixing dishes, and T-shirts. And I'm like, I had a thought one day. I was like, man, if this lady can sell these crazy T-shirts and people are buying them, hell, I might as well do the same thing and try it.
That's right.
So if people are not familiar with Savannah, Georgia has one of the biggest St. Patrick's Day celebrations in the country.
Really? I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, they do. Like, literally every year, it's always in the top 4 or 5 parades.
Okay.
Between Chicago, Boston, New York, like they're all in the top 4 to 5.
Yeah.
Like there's been years where 400,000 people have came to Savannah for St. Patrick's Day.
That sounds so random. I guess there was or it still is a big Irish population.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice little Irish population down there.
Okay.
And the crazy thing is, I figured I was like, I gotta make some money during this weekend. So I came up with some shirts similar to like the I Love New York shirt, but instead of love, I put I. Then I had a green shamrock.
Smart, yeah.
And put Savannah on it.
That's great.
Yes, man. The first year, I tripled my money what I put into the shirts.
Awesome.
I was hooked. I was freaking hooked. Sold out. Well, the next year I was hyped. I was excited.
Yeah.
And I didn't do as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't do as well. Some things happened. I got stopped by the police.
Ah.
Yeah, they took some of my merchandise and never gave it back.
Oh no.
That's another story for another day.
Well, that's a lesson learned, right? I mean, if there's a way to do it legally.
Definitely a lesson learned. But at the same time, like, I was still a little bit younger during those days. I wasn't trying to get a permit for one day. I was just gonna continue to just try to sell.
Yeah.
But like you said, you live and you learn. And after that, I had like some ups and some downs with the T-shirts. And 2013 or 2014 came, and I still like doing shirts, but I had to figure out another way to do them because at the end of the day, I was printing out these shirts. People said they liked them before I printed them out, but when I printed the shirts out, nothing.
Yeah, they always say that you can't trust anybody, right?
Yeah, in 2015, I still had some shirts from like 2011,
Okay.
St. Patrick's Day, in my closet.
Yeah.
Like I donated. At this point, like I had a big cartel store up, and I still would promote it from time to time online. Like because I had other shirts out there that I thought looked good, but at the end of the day, some of those designs sucked, and I wasted money by printing them out. So I donated those items. In 2015 or 2016, that's when I found out about Teespring.
Okay.
Teespring is a print-on-demand website. You create your designs and you upload them to their website, and you make money. You get a percentage of every shirt sold online. So, for example, if I sell a T-shirt for $18.99, I get about $7 to $8 for that. For me, that works perfectly because I don't have to worry about inventory. I don't have to worry about customer service or anything.
Nothing.
I just get money deposited into my Teespring dashboard that I can transfer to PayPal. So I love selling shirts on Teespring and other websites like that right now.
Because you were coming up with designs anyway. That was the major part of it, right? I mean, anybody can buy a T-shirt, from somewhere from a store, but not with your design on it. So Teespring is the online solution to this.
Correct. It sure is.
And so how often do you make designs?
I've actually been slacking lately. I literally used to do designs probably like 3 or 4 times, maybe a year.
Yeah.
But but I would do a lot of promotion. Like for example, I had an eBay shirt that was my best seller. But 2 years after I put the shirt up, that's when they want to figure out that eBay was a trademark word, and they took my shirt down. You can't use trademark items.
Sure.
Now,
okay.
sometimes people like myself has done it before in the past, and it's went unnoticed for a long time. But eventually, they'll find you and take your shirt down.
Well, you got to test the system, right?
Yeah, definitely. But like right now, I don't even try to like create designs with words and stuff like that did a trademark because I don't have time to be losing out on money because that really was right. my highest selling shirt, and I lost out.
So this sounds like this is almost passive income.
Yes, you have to of course, you have to do a little work on the front end, but
yeah,
all you have to do is promote the links and make sure it's something that people find funny, and you'll make money. Like I have a couple of new designs that I put out within the last couple of weeks that are doing all right. Like I did some Facebook ads, and I'm actually about to do some more promotion with the shirts, and hopefully make a decent amount before December is done.
Well, but that's great because you do a little bit of work to make the designs, and then you kind of set it and forget it. How long could they stay up on the site? Forever?
They close and restart every 3 days.
Yeah, so every 3 days your design is still there.
Yep.
On the site. Okay, yeah, great. And it's just like every 3 days it's just for a batch for ordering?
Exactly. That's exactly what it did. Every 3 days a new batch will print.
Gotcha. Okay, that's really cool. So how many designs do you have up there?
Let's see. Right now I currently have about 15 or 16 designs. Out of those 15, 16 designs, maybe 5 of them have sold.
Yeah.
Like I actually did some product research a couple of days ago. Was asking people which one of these shirts that they like or dislike, and I got some decent answers. I'm just trying to figure out which I want to get more shirts up there that are going to sell, and more shirts that my audience like, because a lot of people say that they like stuff, but at the end of the day, if the shirts are not selling, that means that they're not people don't really like them.
Yeah, I mean it sounds like a numbers game to me. Right? Like if you create a bunch of designs, even if you hired people to do the actual drawings or whatever, and you had the ideas.
Yeah, I actually have hired a designer.
Yeah.
And it's on my list to find another designer because, like I said earlier, I'm not good with graphic design.
Yeah, but the ideas.
I got some great ideas. So yeah, that'll be. Hopefully, I'm able to get that done before the Christmas holiday get here because I want to end 2018 with a bang. Teespring.
Yeah, that sounds great. And you already knew the T-shirts. You tried it on your own. I think we just need to keep an eye out for things that fit into what we're doing, and then take the opportunities. Like, wow, I can just make this design and somebody's going to sell it for me. Sure, I get a little bit less money, but I don't have to do any of the selling, which takes up most of the time.
Exactly. Like that's for me. Like I'm all about working smarter, not harder these days.
Yeah, and I feel like you're pretty good at figuring out what that is by now, right? And then you're writing about this stuff, and you get feedback, and you're just gonna try to build as many of these like side hustles as you can.
Yeah, between those two, and then I also count my blog as a side hustle / business as well, because there is money made with that. Yep. And those are the ones that I'm focusing on, because there was a time where I was trying to do 6 or 7 side hustles, and I failed miserably. Okay. You can't be a success at 6 or 7 different things at one time.
Yeah.
You have to get them going first.
That's right.
And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing with these side hustles.
And then you can just with the T-shirts, you could kind of, if you had like a huge number on there, you can kind of set it and forget it, right? And even if just a couple sell.
That's actually what my plan is, because Amazon has a T-shirt website. It's called Merch by Amazon.
Yeah.
And if I can get some T-shirts in there and some good ones to sell that has like some good SEO and some good sayings, I could make some real money. Yeah. But I've been struggling with Merch by Amazon now.
Well, I'm sure you'll figure it out, right?
Definitely. Yeah, and if I don't figure it out, my designer will figure it out.
Exactly. The best thing is that you're trying all this stuff. You could just be working your job, maybe slowly, very slowly paying down the debt and hoping one day for it all to be different, but you're making your own destiny.
I have to, because at the end of the day, I want to be location independent. I love to travel. I've done some pretty decent travel within the last 5 to 6 years, and I have to do more, because that's like when that's when I truly feel alive. When I feel like I'm really in the moment when I'm traveling.
I hear you. I
need more of that feeling.
Oh, it's a great feeling.
Yeah, I'm not here to be set up to sit down in a cubicle for 40 to 50 years of my life. Like it can't happen.
And it's good to know that, right? And that'll keep you going, keep you on the right track.
Definitely.
Well, thanks for sharing your story. Sometimes people come on the show and they've been through all this stuff already. Like, I was in lots of debt. Like, well, myself, for example, right? And I got out of it and built it all back up. And but it's also good to hear from people who are in it, and you're pretty aware of what's happening, right? You're not in denial about the situation.
I'm not in denial, because I want people to realize that I keep it real.
Yeah.
Because every blogger or person in the finance industry don't. I wasn't one of the ones to get that silver spoon, or like I know I've read stories where people were able to get out of $200,000 to $300,000 worth of debt in 6 months to a year.
Wow.
Well, I wasn't given a condo or given a big amount of money from my family to help me get out. So I'm keeping it real. Like I'm in the trenches right now, making it happen. Yeah. So I tell people everything, the good and the bad, because people want to hear realistic stories.
Yeah, a lot of the stories that we hear have some privilege attached to them, and we need to acknowledge that.
Yep. And mine doesn't.
Yeah, and that's probably representative of a whole lot of the population who are in this, and so people are listening to these stories about I'm retired at 35 or whatever, and they can't relate because they don't have the same opportunities. So, yeah, thanks for keeping it real.
No problem, Bo. No problem at all.
All right. Well, hopefully, I definitely will see you at FinCon in September 2019, right?
Exactly, man. I'm there.
All right. Thanks for coming on the show. If you like this episode, please subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. While you're there, please leave me a 5-star rating or a review or both. If you're already a subscriber, you're awesome. Please join my Facebook group so I can thank you personally. To find the group, go to Facebook and search for The Personal Finance Show. Thanks for listening to this episode of The Personal Finance Show. I'll be back next week with the sassy investor, Michelle Hung.